From my point of view, homelessness is a completely curable condition. The Housing for Health program, we have 90% retention rates at 1 year of people who are put directly from the street or the hospital into housing. The way you dealt with people who were homeless was called the continuum of care, and the continuum of care said first needed to get them off alcohol, and then you needed to get them a mental health referral, and after all those things were done, then you'd do transitional housing, and if they didn't blow out of that, you'd look for permanent housing. And you can imagine nobody made it through the continuum. We're providing all these services, and everybody's still homeless. Forget all that stuff. First, we house people. They're homeless. You want someone to stop being homeless? House them. So we house them. We house them right from the start, and then we work on those other problems. And as you might imagine, it's a lot easier to deal with somebody's mental illness when they're not living under the freeway. Most of the units that we lease are about $1,200 a month for someone. The cost of a hospital day is about $3,000. So you don't have to save very many hospital days in order to make this work. There is a specific part of the federal Medicaid code that says that Medicaid cannot pay for housing. I'm trying to figure out how to defeat that. The closest I've seen to what I want is that Indiana has been successful at convincing Medicaid to pay a premium for every day the health plan keeps a homeless person housed. So they're not paying for the housing, but they were willing to go the step of paying an incentive to the plan for keeping them housed. If we brought a bill to Congress, could you find a sponsor? Yes. You could, I think, pretty easily get somebody to sponsor a bill lifting that exemption. Could you get it passed? Absolutely not. Social impact bonds are, a hot fashion at the moment. The reason they're not more widely used is that it's not easy to find situations where you can guarantee the return of investment. Could I do a social impact bond for more housing for the homeless? Yes. But it would have to be restricted to only people who have a lot of days in the hospital. And my goal is to go way beyond that. What I want to do is I don't want to see, a lineup of wheelchairs on Skid Row. I think that's just unacceptable in a city and country as rich as this. There has to be a better way. But to the extent that those people don't go in the hospital, I don't have a savings. The place I believe there might be the social impact bond that I'm interested in looking at right now is some of the jail diversions. And the reason this social impact bond might work there is cost of incarceration is $130,000 a year. You're not going to get political support for diverting anybody with a violent anything, right? Nor am I advocating for that. But I would love to do more diversion for people with mental illness and substance abuse problems, right? With no history of violent crime. So if you could create a diversion program where you're diverting people out of jail, almost everything is going to be less expensive than $130,000 a year. Right, that's a job and a home, probably, and some support.